second reason many people have not tapped into their greatness is a lack of self-belief. Sadly, we live in a society that is controlled by fear. Our entire educational system teaches us that failure is bad. Hence, we become so scared of failing. Our parents, our teachers, our friends are all part of this ridiculous fear, and often the ones that are reinforcing it by reacting negatively to all our dreams and all our desires. That's pretty messed up, you know. One of my favorite quotations in life, and it will always be, is the one by Thomas Edison. Does that name ring a bell? Well, he said, I have not failed. I've just come up with 1,000 ways that didn't work. Isn't that amazing? Look at that mindset shift. It makes you think. You see, as human beings, we can only learn from failure. It's just that we must stop being afraid of making mistakes. Remember that fear, it is actually just an illusion. It doesn't exist. So society created that within you. It's all in your mind. So you need to throw it out and go for the win. Go for it. Only then, when you start discovering your greatness within you, you remember, but if you put a small value on you yourself, rest assured, the world, they're not going to raise that price either. You need to know your worth. You can only do this by believing in yourself and following through with every opportunity that is laid out before you. And don't forget that you were born to make mistakes, not fake perfection as the rest of the world would have you to believe. Of course, some people might argue that they never were given the opportunities to implement this philosophy. But you see, the problem is lack of honesty with yourself, because when opportunity knocks, guess what? The opportunity has already left. You have to know what greatness you have within you. No. And you will jump at every opportunity without hesitation and without 100 of locks. Think about that and find the most ridiculous excuse of them all. I came from a historically disadvantaged background. Yes. In the last few weeks, I've met 4 people that have actually said this to me. I wish I had a camera on my face every time I heard it, because the look on my face, I would like to see. It would most probably been so priceless, right? Without a doubt in my mind, this is the most lame excuse, but it's one of the most popular ones as well. You know what I blame? It's the politicians and their personalities, right, for this outlook. Have you ever seen a politician or a famous celebrity taking responsibility for a bad decision or action? Do you think about this? The world has slowly been conditioned to play the blame game. This is now considered to be politically correct. No, it was my teacher's fault. No, actually, I didn't think about it. It was my parents' fault. I mean, in fact, the more that I think about it, it was my best friend at school's fault, because they always undermined me. No, sorry.
Well, it wasn't me.
Well, it wasn't me.
It cannot be. It was the previous government's fault, because they took everything away from the ancestors. Now I have nothing. We can even go back further. Let's check for a moment. You come into this world alone and you leave alone. However, we are all special and we are all born with our own unique talents. It is during this life that you are given a certain amount of time in which to discover your greatness. Now, part of discovering your greatness is to take responsibility for your actions and for your life. So people using the historically disadvantaged background are in essence saying that because of my parents, because of my ancestors, and never let them anything, there was no opportunities. No, I would love to know the logic behind this thinking, because I know of many people that have grown up in the worst conditions ever in this world, but they've left legacies. They've changed thousands of lives and they've made huge differences. What makes these people different from you? Gandhi, Mother Teresa, Martin Luther King, to name a few. How come they made it? Could it be that they didn't use lame excuses, but they took responsibility for their own lives?
I take full responsibility.
What makes you so special to claim anything from the past? In my opinion, that's just plain arrogant and lazy. If not outright rude, you would rather have an entitlement attitude and waste your whole life fighting for something that you had no input in creating, rather than discovering your own greatness in this life and really making a difference in the world. You've got to get serious. In order to discover your greatness, you need to correct the inside before the outside will fall into place.